Donnie here, and I want to talk about our sponsor for the Y-Bass podcast, Jim Dunlop MXR. Since 1965, Jim Dunlop has given us what we need with strings, picks, straps, and pedals. And not just any pedals, pedals for bassists, which not a lot of people do. They offer the bass synth, which I've used on the Kelly Clarkson cover with the Toadies. They've got a T-bass distortion chorus a la Peter Hook, the Dynacomp for compression, and all bass players need compression. What I use every day on the road is the Bass DI floor unit to give me that extra punch that my front-of-house engineer loves. When it comes to picks, my go-to is the 1mm flex to give me the attack that I need. Head over to jimdunlop.com and check out their massive variety of pedals, picks, and strings. They have it all at jimdunlop.com. I would like to thank our sponsors at Schecter Guitars, makers of fine guitars for over 50 years. They make a huge variety of guitars and basses, all high-quality builds with the best materials and pickups at a reasonable price. Of course, Schecter offers a rip-roaring selection of bass guitars, as are the Model T4 and the Corsair. And right now, Schecter is celebrating 50 years of craftsmanship, innovation, and tone with their 50th anniversary collection. Head on over to schecterguitars.com and check it all out. Again, that is schecterguitars.com. You'll love it. Hello, this is the Y-Bass podcast with Donivan Blair, and I'm Donivan Blair. Go figure. Hey everybody, welcome to the Y-Bass podcast, and I'm your host, Donivan Blair. Today's guest is Eva Gardner. She's a longtime bassist for Mars Volta and Pink. She's an incredible bass player and musician with just a fantastic story and pedigree, which you will definitely find out during the course of our interview. Sit back and check it out, and let's get in there. Hi, Eva. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you.
How was that? Did you like that energy?
Yeah.
That's
it's that
pretty
countdown.
good.
That countdown just is an injection of energy.
I was trying to feel the scene. Mm-hmm. Who am I? What's my motivation here?
Mm-hmm. Don't we all want to know?
No one wants to know. Trust me on this. Trust me. Thank you for doing the Y-Bass podcast. And where are you right now?
I'm in LA.
LA? Like where in LA?
Not far from downtown. I live in East LA.
Oh, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. I get turned around down there a lot. I know Hollywood, then I'm out.
That's where I was born and raised, actually.
In Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get into that. I mean, obviously, I listened previously to my brothers, so I love your story, but I want everyone else to hear it. So that's what leads me to why bass? Why did you pick up the bass?
Well, my dad was a bass player. And
Kim from The Creation, correct?
Kim from The Creation.
Nice.
Yes. From The Creation and the Byrds, the British Byrds, and Ashton Gardner and Dyke. So I grew up with him. He was part of the swinging 60s in London. You know, during that time, you know, he shared early bills with The Who and was in his first band with Ron Wood, and just had these great stories about being on tour and being a bass player. And I was like, yep, that's what I'm going to do. I want to do that. He was so animated when he would tell these stories about being on the road. And because my dad was my dad and you know, he was my hero and I idolized him, and I just wanted to do what he did, the thing that brought him so much joy.
That's awesome. I think that's the best answer I've had so far in like 8 episodes.
Oh, wow.
A lot of it was, one person was like, hey, he showed up with his guitar because his friend was like, it was Jay Bentley from Bad Religion. And he said he showed up with his guitar and they were like, we're going to start a band. Like, cool. And so he had his guitar and amp, like, no, you're playing bass. And he was just, what? So it's a lot of that. Yours is like, actually, nope. You grew into it. You were born into it.
Yes.
Did he have some great gear?
He did have some great gear. It was back in the 60s. he had some stuff that's not around anymore. He had a really cool old, I've only seen pictures of it, right? Of him with this old Epiphone and some other basses. But his real workhorse that he stuck with was a 1962 Fender Precision.
Good God.
In Fiesta Red. And that was his bass in the Creation. And then, and it just remained his main bass. It's actually right behind me. Can't see it right now, I don't think, in the screen.
I would like to, but that's okay.
But yeah.
So you have it, huh?
I do.
That is so awesome. And it's just, you've done a lot with that one though, right? Not on tour, obviously.
It took me a long time because it was my dad's bass, and it was one of those things that it was like I couldn't even touch it when I was a kid. It was like, don't even look at it. Yeah. So it was he wanted to be buried with this bass. He just it was his baby. And so it took me a long time to make it my own, because it was my dad. I just kept it in the case, and it took maybe 20 years after he passed away for me to be like, you know what, maybe it's time to actually take this out of the case and start playing it. Yeah.
Did you learn on that, or you didn't even touch that one?
I could not even touch it.
What did you learn on?
I ended up borrowing basses for a long time.
Really?
Yeah. I asked my dad to lend me a bass when I was little, and I was really into the idea, and he was like, I don't think so. Well, he was not into the idea. So it took not my dad, but his best friend to come over and give me my first bass lesson. And his best friend was Andy Johns, who was a producer and engineer.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Andy Johns?
Mm-hmm. Glenn's brother. Yeah.
You're kidding me. Wait a minute. Andy Johns, he was the younger one, right?
He was the younger one, yeah, exactly.
So Glenn, I know he did the first Zeppelin, but Andy he was doing all of it as well.
Yeah, Andy's one of the things he did on Led Zeppelin 4 is get that drum sound on When the Levee Breaks.
That's right. He went and did Zeppelin 4, and oh my God. So that was your dad's best friend.
That was my dad's bestie.
And that's who lent you a bass.
He came over one day with a Gibson, I think it was either an EBO or an EB3, and he came over with a bass and a little pig nose amp. And my dad thought he was bringing in some gear to check out. And he's like, no, man, this is for Eva. She's been begging you for a bass lesson for years. So he was Andy. Andy's the one who sat me down, and
That's badass.
He had just finished producing a Van Halen live record called Right Here, Right Now.
Yeah. Okay.
And he put the CD in the CD player and put on Van Halen's version of The Kinks' You Really Got Me.
Wow.
So that was the first bass line I learned how to play.
That's badass. That's a great story. You've got to write a book.
And then I borrowed Andy's bass for a while because...
Wow.
Yeah.
I think he also did... Was it him or Glenn that did the Eagles?
I don't think it was Andy. I don't think.
I think Andy's the one that pioneered that drum, I believe with the 4 mics, maybe one behind him. Do you know what that? Yeah, I think so. My guitar player went down a rabbit hole about that, but like I said, nerd shit.
Totally.
But wow. So let me ask this: on your dad's bass, was it flat wounds?
So here's the thing: it started out as a Fiesta Red fretted bass. And when he went on to do the Ashton, Gardner, and Dyke, my dad was a jazz head. He was really into jazz. And so when he was doing Ashton, Gardner, and Dyke, they were more of a kind of a jazzy fusion-y rock band. Yeah, so he painted the bass black and took off the frets.
Wow.
So it became a fretless black bass with a black headstock. And that's how it was. When I was born, it was like that. And then when I was a kid, he took the black paint off and restored it to what was left of the Fiesta Red paint.
What about the frets?
The frets stayed off. It remained a fretless.
Wow. No shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I'm sure it just sounds incredible.
It's cool. Yeah, it's really cool. And Yeah, it's a special piece because it was my dad's. I actually took it to a place to get appraised, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this isn't original. It's not worth anything." You know how like the purest thing is, but it's like the frets are ripped off of it. It's been painted. It's been unpainted. It's like
They have no fucking clue. I think Walter Becker from Steely Dan called them guitar owners. That's it. Like that's the kind of like the worst thing you could say about someone. Like, well, he's a guitar owner.
Right.
You know, they don't have it. I mean, to me, that's the soul. That's the beauty. Whenever you go in and yeah, you might be messing it up and all of that, but we wouldn't have so many like Chris Squire constantly going over his Rickenbackers. You know, he wouldn't have that tone if he'd have just left it how it was. I love messing with my stuff. All right, but what was your first bass that you got? Like just your own? Yours.
I actually got, so after a couple years of borrowing basses, it was Christmas time and my sister had asked for a guitar for Christmas. So I saw a guitar case under the Christmas tree and I was thinking, oh, cool, my sister got her a guitar. That's great. And then my dad said, well, did you look at the name tag? Did you see who it's for? And I went to look at the name tag and it was for me.
Whoa.
And I opened up this gig bag and inside of it was a Fender Precision.
Nice.
And it was a black one with a white pick guard, and it's a Mexican made and with plastic knobs. Yep. And of course, me being the little jerk I was, I wanted something vintage like Dad's, you know? And I'm like, I mean, this is cool, but it's not vintage. It's not vintage like Dad. I wanted a vintage one. But I mean, looking back now, I mean, you know, Dad's not gonna, you know, my mom found the receipt for it recently. Actually, he got it at Guitar Center on Sunset for like $300. But I made sure to go down to Guitar Row, you know, down on Sunset Boulevard, and I kind of made it my own. I picked out a tortoiseshell pick guard, and I got some chrome knobs and decked it out and made it my own. And I still, to this day, still use it all the time. Shit. I just finished a tour with it, and it's been my workhorse forever. And I guess now it might be vintage, but you know, Dad knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. Yeah. And looking back now, I mean, it's an amazing bass. I love it. I love it so much.
I love the ones made in Mexico and Japan the most. That's just me. Yeah. I don't care for the American-made ones, how they're made or how they were. Now I think they're making them a lot better now, but I've always just preferred the Japanese and like the Mexican ones. They're just so much better. That's not good. They're more better? No. That's Texas coming out.
Like, they're betterer.
There you go. Thank you. You can get away with it. You're from LA. If I say betterer, like, heck, if you say like, well, that's cool.
For sure.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, let me ask this. Like, so amp-wise, what do you prefer? Because you're mainly precisions now. Or do you like run the gamut of basses, or are you just precision, period?
I would say mostly precision, yeah.
Nice. Like you don't even fuck around with jazzes or Rickenbackers or anything like that?
I don't own either of those, no.
Wow. That's badass.
I had a jazz for a while and I sold it.
Really?
Yeah, it's just not my thing.
I can see that. The Ps they are perfect.
I think so. I mean, I can definitely appreciate, I think jazz might be the more popular option from what I understand. It's got a smaller neck, smaller nut width. It's easier for people to get around. I can get why people really like them. But yeah, just for me personally, the P bass is where it's at.
It's so varied. Because, I mean, you look at J.J. Brunel from the Stranglers to Duck Dunn. Mm-hmm. Same bass. Nothing's changed about it, but listen to those tones, you know? And it's so much you can do with just basically two knobs. You crank it, or you can just mess with like the tone knob, and it just sounds perfect. It really does. Whatever it is, you know, especially with, do you ever mess with flat wounds?
I do, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. I've been playing a lot of fretless lately, actually.
Really? Like with the outside, or just like on your own, or?
Just with mostly Mars Volta stuff. I've been doing a lot of fretless with them.
Okay. On that record, like, and I've got it right here, because I was listening the other day, Que Dios te maldiga. I know I'm saying it correct, horrible, but You also play double bass though, right?
Yes.
Okay, so on that record, is that double bass or fretless or both?
That is my dad's double bass.
No shit. So he played double bass as well.
He did, and
Wow.
he had one. It's from the 1860s. It's a beautiful piece, and
Wow.
so yeah, I used that one on that album.
Wow. And you're playing fretless with them as well. That's such a cool, like, especially for what they came from, like everything else. And now they can kind of do whatever the hell they want, especially taking their first record and redoing it all acoustic. Who would have thought of that? But that's one thing I wanted to talk about, and I love listening, is your tone. It doesn't change. To me, it didn't. It's like I listened to Telstar, I listened to Mars Volta. I went down the gamut for the past few days, and your right hand is fantastic. You've got a great punch, but you know how to fill in the tone. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
You understand it, of course. Yeah, I think everyone else is going to listen and go, "What?" You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
I do. Yeah.
So many people can play a P, and they know how to. It's just kind of like a big rounder tone, which is great, and it's easy to do. It's really hard to take a P and really control it, where you can have that round tone, but be able to have your own punch sit through. And on every record I heard of yours, you have that, and it's just such a great. It just shines through with everything. So
Thank you.
that is awesome. You're not punching through. You know exactly when to. It's like just perfectly even. I'm very jealous of that. Really, I'm fucking jealous.
So speaking of perfectly even, though, I did play a Rickenbacker for the. I mean, I've played him before, but I actually recorded with one for the first time.
Wow.
And I was on a session where the producer actually requested it, and I had brought a few basses with me, and for what they were trying to do, the Ricky just was where it was at, and I think it's because it was for. It was a Julian Lennon song, and it was that was the vibe. And I know McCartney used a Rickenbacker as well.
Oh, okay.
And so they wanted that vibe. And interestingly, like the P bass just wasn't right for what they were going for. And so I had to borrow a Rickenbacker actually because I didn't have one. And I borrowed one, and it's one from the 70s. And I will say it was a beautiful instrument, and it was so even. The tone was even up and down the neck, whether you're on the E string or the G string. I know sometimes those notes can get lost on the D and G strings. The umph can get lost. And I was blown away by how beautifully that played.
I'm addicted to them.
To the Rickies. Is that your bass of choice?
Yeah. I have like a nice Nash Jazz. It looks like actually John Paul Jones's Nash. It was a gift from Zach. But I put flat wounds on it, and I'm loving that.
Nice.
And I've got a Geddy Lee Jazz my wife got me, and then a Precision, and the rest are just Rickies.
Does the Geddy Lee Jazz have a P neck, though?
No.
No?
You would think
okay.
it's an exact copy of, I think his was like a 74, 75, mid 70s or something. And it came stock with like just regular 70s pickups and, the badass. And I went ahead and had Seymour Duncan's put in it.
Nice.
And I love it. I've done a lot of tours and records with it and all that. Oh yeah, and there's a Music Man too that I got a long time ago. It's in 95. Yeah. So I've had it a long time. But I think it's the Rickenbackers and just looking at them, and they're so varied, but if you find a bad one, they will ruin you on everything, They used to have a bad thing with the E's. You couldn't hear the low E, which made me, when I got in the band, Lisa, the first bass player, she played Rickenbackers all the time and had an incredible tone. So I wanted to do that and recreate it, but I just couldn't figure it out. So then I went to a Precision, Steve Harris Precision, and it just destroyed everything I tried. It had everything that we needed. Then I, of course, fell back into my rut, and I had to get another Rickenbacker. So
nice. I hear that some years are better than others, though, right?
I think so. All right, so if you even find I was on a kick of just getting new ones. So like from 2022, 2023, circuitry's better, pots are better, everything's better on them. And they just sound incredible. You can make it sound like Chris Squire, or you can make it sound not like a precision, but have that oomph. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or it doesn't sound like a Rickenbacker. We did a song, a Kelly Clarkson cover that we did, and I played it on it, and it does not sound like a Rickenbacker. But Zach for Christmas got me a 76, and that sounds incredible. So I think if you stay between 70s and probably brand new. I've played a bunch of them like in the 80s and definitely like the 90s and even early 2000s, and I wasn't too happy.
Okay.
So I think the new ones have more control, because those old ones you're going to pay $5,000 for, and it might just look cool. Might sound like shit.
But they always look cool.
Well, you said it before I could say it, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's part of it,
Totally.
What about like a pick? You ever messed with a pick?
Oh,
I told you this is going to get nerdy.
No,
I fucking told you. I warned you.
I'm into it. No, I started out playing with a pick, actually.
Wow, really?
Yes. I started playing with a pick because my dad played with a pick. He had a really interesting style. His P bass was, he made it fretless again. So he played a fretless with flat wounds with a pick.
Wow.
So
he
had this really interesting tone. Yeah. So, and I was listening to a lot of, rock bands and stuff at the time when I started playing. So naturally I started with a pick as well. And first couple years I played with a pick, and then I went to an arts high school. I got into, had to audition to get in. I failed my first audition, actually.
Wow.
And re-auditioned. I got in finally. So I was in the jazz band. It was like when you're there, you're either in the orchestra or you're in the jazz band. So I was in the jazz band. And my first day of jazz band, I was like the little rocker girl that came in, and my jazz band instructor, I'm standing in front of the amp about to play a song, and he's like, "Miss Eva, put down that pick." And I remember it was a confetti pick that I had, Fender confetti pick. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, and I just put it behind me. I put it on top of my amp, and from that moment forward, it was like, boom, trial by fire. You're playing with your fingers now.
So you hadn't played with your fingers at that point?
No.
Wow. Did you have your P?
I had my P, that same one I had gotten for Christmas. Yeah.
So you just went for it?
I went for it.
Wow. Nice. How was that? How did you feel?
It just, I didn't have a choice but to make it feel great. It was fantastic. And I'm so glad for that moment, because it just gave me another, at that very moment, it made me a more versatile player.
Yeah.
And something that I could call upon at any time as needed, right? There've been a lot of moments when I'm working with an artist and the MD wants to hear something like the record, or they want it at a certain tone and it needs to be with a pick. You need to roll, you have your, make your P bass sound a little brighter, and so you got to do what you got to do.
Well, and that's what's great about, again, the P bass. You don't have to, with the jazz bass, you've got all the different volumes and the top. Well, I could do this and that and fuck with this. But the P is just,
Yep.
Done.
Yep.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's so great about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that out. Like, you started Mars Volta with the guys. Also, you were a founding member of that, right?
First bass player, yeah.
Kick ass. How did that come about?
That came about because my friend Ike, who plays keys, rest in peace, he's not with us anymore, but Ike Owens, I had known from LA. He'd played in a bunch of bands in town. And coincidentally, I was also at that arts high school I was telling you about. His little brother, Brandon Owens, is a bass player, and we were in high school together. We were in the jazz band together. So yeah, I knew the guys, and Ike was playing in a band called De Facto with Omar and Cedric from At the Drive-In.
Oh.
So he knew those guys, and when At the Drive-In was splitting up, they wanted to start a new band. And Ike called me up and said, "Hey, I play in a band with these guys. They want to start something new. There are other bands breaking up, and want to meet them and see what happens." So I met them, and we ended up pretty soon after that getting together and just getting in a room and starting to play music together before there was even a name for the band.
Wow. So it was just the four of you and no drummer, or you
There was a drummer. There was a drummer. Yeah.
Then why? So you did the EP, but then you got a different gig and left, right?
Yeah, I did the EP, and we had demoed some stuff, and had already done a few tours. So there were a bunch of songs that I had contributed to.
Sure.
But yeah, had departed after before the first album was recorded. Yeah.
Well, but when, again, the same thing when you learned as a kid, they were like, take away the pick. It's like when something happens, if this is what you're going to do with your life, sometimes you have to leave. You have to do that and follow it. But it's good that you found your way back.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm positive Pete. So my brother and I are very positive people.
I feel like I am too. I am too.
I think you have to be. You can't be negative in this business and do this, because if you're putting out negativity, that just, it screams off of you. People are going to pick up on that and they're going to know, and it's just going to be really hard to do. But so after that, you went and you played with Cher. Tell me about Telstar, because that is some really awesome stuff. How did you get involved with them? What did you guys do?
Thank you. Yeah, I had, when I was on tour with Pink, we had a band opening up for us called Butch Walker and the Black Widows.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
So one of the guys in Butch's band, Chris, he was starting a band, and we were actually dating at the time and living together. And he's like, hey, he's doing a bunch of songs. He had a drummer friend that he was working with named Stu from Toronto who had moved to LA. And I just ended up getting folded into the mix, and we had a studio at the house. And so
that's where you guys recorded all of that at? Because that was my next question.
Not all of it, but a lot of it. Chris had already had some of it recorded prior to his moving to LA, but we recorded a lot of it in our studio.
It sounds great, because that's what I love. The bass is so prominent, but also the drums. Everything sounds fantastic. It's just a cool band. I really liked it a lot.
So fun. Thank you. Yeah, it was
yeah.
A really
Did you
fun
guys
band.
Tour?
We did a little bit of touring, not an extensive amount, but a bit.
Nice. Yeah, it's a really, really cool band. For anyone listening, listen to Telstar and definitely listen to the bass, because it's prominent. It really is. But you can tell, and I don't know if it's just from one of those that I have been listening for the past few days of, like I said, going down the rabbit hole and listening. Yeah. But you have a unique tone to me. Thank you. So I think to other people who don't listen for that stuff, i.e., guitar players, singers, you know what I mean? Yeah. My drummer and I clown our guitar players a lot.
As you should.
What else? No one's looking at us. We can do whatever the hell they want. They're up there and their whammy bars and, with their flat 7 chords and, all this kind of shit. So we have a lot of fun, and we'll be talking about it. And they're like, what are you guys laughing about? Like, oh, we were making fun of the both of you all night long. Really? Yeah. So it's what happens.
There's enough drummer jokes to go around and bass player jokes.
No shit.
It's like, yeah.
I know. They get all the attention.
Gotta throw it back a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I had asked a question, and then I diverted to something else. Amps. What's your amps? What do you like?
I use Ampegs.
Solid state or just SVT?
SVT.
Just straight.
Pretty much, yeah. Another childhood memory of mine, one of my very first memories, my dad had an Ampeg flip top, Portaflex, and at the time where we were living, our living room was the studio. My dad had a 4-track, a Crown 4-track, and all of his basses and guitars, and the amp that he had was an Ampeg. And so one of my very first memories is hanging out by this amp. When you'd flip on the switch, the A would light up, the blue light, and that's just like seared into my memory. So,
wow.
I've just always, even before I was with the company, I've just always used them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So it's just, do you use any pedals or anything like that when you're touring, or is it just precision straight into the Ampeg?
I do use pedals. It depends on the gig, but I do use pedals.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more like do you ever mess with anything like dark glass or any of that stuff?
Sometimes. Yeah.
I like those a lot. They've got like a nice, they're not as brittle as some of the other ones, I think it sounds like they rammed an SVT into like a Sans amp and made it, not to talk shit on Sans amp, but
I use a Sans amp is my go-to, actually.
No shit.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Like just the plain old school Sans
Just the
amp.
old school one, the black and yellow one.
Yeah.
And
That one.
I'll always have that on a board. Usually.
No shit.
Yeah.
Nice. And just, that's it. That's badass. And well, what's coming up after that? Because, oh yeah, this is another question. All right, so whenever you left Mars Volta and then you started touring with everyone else, you did Pink. How did that come about?
So I was doing a lot of auditions at the time in LA, and I did an audition for a TV show, actually, to be in the house band for a TV show called Rockstar NXS.
No shit, you
They
did.
were looking for a new singer for NXS. So I did that audition to be in the house band. I didn't get that gig, but literally 2 years later, I got a phone call from the MD from that show, who also was Pink's MD. And he said that, oh, hey, I remember you from that audition you did 2 years ago. Well, Pink's looking for a bass player. Do you want to try out? And
That's awesome.
I said, heck yeah, absolutely. And so
Wow.
I auditioned.
Obviously got it.
I did.
Obviously.
I did get it. I made the cut.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
goodness.
And that's what's bad. I love about, if you're ready for it, all those opportunities are going to hit you. They're totally going to hit. And you just got to be like, yeah, of course. Why not? So you never knew that was going to happen. I mean,
I didn't. No, I mean, it's one of the words that comes up a lot in this business is resilience as well, right? Like I don't even know how many auditions that I did that I got rejected for before one that actually I got a green light on,
Sure.
And that shit's not fun. It's terrible. It's a terrible process.
I'm sure. Yeah, that takes a way thicker skin, I think, than most people. I think they hear that and like, oh, this would be great to go do. Like, well, lose a couple of auditions, and see what that says.
Yeah. I mean, I failed my first audition to get into music school. I mean, I have a long history of failing auditions.
But something comes out from it.
Oh, yeah.
See? That's the good thing about it.
For sure. That was definitely an aha moment for me when that happened.
Yeah. Well, and also you're in the right town, obviously, and you know what you're doing. And you obviously read too, right? Because you learned that like in music school.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you pretty good sight reading?
It's not my strongest strength, I would say. I can do it, but I don't really it's like use it or lose it kind of a thing. And a lot of the gigs that I do, it's not really a thing. But I do just to keep it there whenever I chart stuff. I'll always make charts for bands that I'm learning the music for, and it's just to keep that muscle there.
It helps. Yeah. I would assume, like, how does the Mars Volta do it? Do you guys pretty much, I would assume that's pretty free form creatively wise, or does Omar end up writing a lot of just like the basic music and you guys come in with your own stuff, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, when the band started, it was a bit different than how it is now. When the band started, it was collaborative, right? Like a band in a room writing together.
Sure.
Nowadays, it's different. It's Omar and Cedric the last couple albums, actually 3 albums that I've been a part of, they'll present the record stripped down, like the record written, and then I will come in and, I'll chart it, and then I'll come in and do my thing.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. Do y'all go to other studios? Do they have their own place, or?
It depends. The last one was at a studio in LA. Yeah, I've done it at a couple studios in LA. One time we did it, the bass at my house. Like they just had a traveling rig. They also record while on the road as well. They work on records on the road. So I think it just depends on what's good for them at the time.
Sure. And just make sure everybody's ready at that point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3 records in like 3 years. That's a fucking workload. My God. And working up like, the acoustic record too. Mm-hmm. So what do you guys have planned? Are you going out with them soon, or what do you have going on soon?
With them, yeah, there's a festival in Mexico City coming up.
Oh, nice.
In March. Okay. So that's happening, and then maybe some stuff in the fall.
Kick ass. So, and other than that, what else do you personally, what do you have coming up?
Well, I am currently about to edit some vocals. I've been in the studio recording my own thing, doing my own project.
What's that called?
It's just under my name, Eva
Rad.
Gardner.
Okay. Nice.
And I've released a couple of EPs so far over the last few years, and it's something that I'm just always working on. I kind of in between tours and downtime, or I mean, not even just downtime. I travel with a recording rig, so sometimes like in hotel rooms, I'll work on it if I'm on the road. Yeah.
What is it? What's your rig when you travel?
I have a Focusrite,
Oh, okay.
a little Focusrite interface, and
Nice.
I usually will have like a guitar and a bass traveling with the tour or on the bus or something. I'll keep on the bus. So yeah, I just keep it pretty simple. I just kind of demo when I'm on the road and then save the make it all sound better in a real proper studio when I get home.
Anyone local to you, or where are you going to go?
I'm actually working out of a friend's place in LA called Wasatch Studios. And so I've been there, which has been a lot of fun. And I've been working with my pals, actually. I'm not even on this latest release, I'm not even playing bass on any of it.
Really?
I am giving that job to my friends to do.
Wow. How does it feel?
It feels great. It's really fun. It's fun because I would never have thought of the ideas that they're coming up with. And and it's really interesting. And I feel like when I wear this writing songs hat, my brain kind of clicks over into a different mode. And I feel like the bass is a little bit harder. Unless I start the song on the bass, it's a little bit harder for me to come up with really interesting parts. I don't know. It's weird because I'm like, oh, well, because I'm also singing and I'm also playing guitar and I'm also like playing keyboards and doing all this other stuff. So yeah, it's just really fun to have my friends play all the instruments for once.
When they're doing the bass, do you ever
professionals
just like, I wouldn't do that? Or is it just you're completely open to whatever?
Oh, I'm open to it. I think it's a really fun, collaborative environment.
Good.
Yeah, I dig it.
Wow, that is awesome. I didn't think about that. And that would be hard to basically go full Steely Dan, but that's what you're doing.
Yeah, and I've been doing live shows actually, and I'm not playing bass in my band.
How does that feel? That's got to be new.
It is new. It is very new. I'm playing guitar and singing, which is very different. But again, it's something that is. It's fun to always grow and try new things and evolve and just do different stuff. And so that's where I'm at right now.
Well, you're a musician. You have to grow,
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, I think totally. Well, especially you're just showing growth right there by doing what a lot of us can't do and like letting someone else play something that you're used to. That's growth. I don't think a lot of us, me being one of them, could do that. And also stepping in front and singing and playing guitar and just not. So I think that's growth. That's it makes us better musicians. For those of us who are brave enough to do that, and again, I'm not one of them. So,
well, thank you.
If I was wearing a hat, I would take it off to you.
Thank you.
I love my spot where no one looks at me.
I know. It's a really cozy spot. It's really comfortable. I know.
Look over the drummer. They get it. You get it. You got your little thing, and no one's looking at you. And that is growth too. Seriously, though, that's huge. That's huge coming from playing bass. And of course, people will look at us like, oh, okay, they're playing bass, whatever, and then they look at whoever, and that's just what I'm used to. But to do that and stand in the focal points like, oh, shit, this is different. Yet also, I'm sure it's cool too. And it's just something different, right?
It's fun and different. And it took me a long time to get here. I mean, I've been writing songs like on my bedroom floor since I was a teenager. I just have these with a guitar and kind of plugging away at songs. And even for my earliest band, I was bringing in songs. So it's something I've always done, just never was in a place to get up there and just do it in front of people in that way.
Sure.
So it's something new and I'm enjoying it.
Good. And when's that coming out? Do you know, or you're just still kind of like getting it ready right now and you're not ready?
Yeah, I'm almost ready to mix.
Okay.
Almost ready to mix. So hopefully sometime this year it'll be out. I have some Pink stuff coming up as well.
Cool.
She's also going to Mexico City in the spring, so I'll be out there with her.
So you're going to be there a lot.
I am, yeah, which is awesome. I love it over there.
I haven't been down there yet. It's nice.
I love it, yeah.
I think my brother went last year and he loved it. He and his wife went. She's from there as well and loved it.
Cool.
And her brother lives there as well. And Zach said it was just amazing. He was like, they were so happy to see musicians. He was like, it's like they'd never seen electric guitars before. They were losing their fucking minds on us. Wow. He goes, but just their enthusiasm for people just coming down to play music. So I really want to go down there pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think it'd be, instead of you see this all day long, actually seeing people who are passionate about music that are coming to see you would be nice for a change, you know?
It feels nice to be appreciated.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, thank you again Eva for doing this. I really appreciate you spending your time. I know you've got a lot going on, and thanks for listening to my nerdy questions.
No, not at all.
Please, anytime you want to come on to talk about anything nerd shit, please do it. I think I'm going to change the name of the podcast to Nerd Shit with Donivan Blair.
Perfect. Sign me up.
Done. Anything like, hey, Donnie, I'm going to talk some nerd shit. Let's do it. You got my number. Nice. Thank you again, Eva. I really appreciate you for doing this.
Thanks for having me on. Cheers.
I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
Thank you. Eva was just fantastic. I think if you go back and listen to those records that I mentioned, definitely listen to all of the Mars Volta records that she did. Listen to the Telstar, just her tone. Her right hand is fantastic. I'm very, very envious of her right hand. It's just got the perfect tone, perfect punch. She knows how to lay into the note. And again, like I said, her technique is probably just fantastic from being able to play double bass. And definitely check out her solo project under her own name, Eva Gardner. I believe she has a couple of singles and some EPs, and let's be on the lookout for her album. So I do want to have a quick shout out to our sponsors and Jim Dunlop, jimdunlop.com, and Schecter, schecterguitars.com. I appreciate everything that they've done for the show, and we're really happy to have them. So thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you on the next episode.